Hello, friends. We are here today to have a gentle practice where we are going to talk about and work with the ideas of trust, of acknowledging our support systems, of acknowledging the people in your life who want to see you thrive and succeed, and really working with this idea that everything, all energy in the universe wants to see you succeed, right? The universe isn't like, man, I really want to put you down. No, we make choices that result in that, right? But we want to really tap into this idea and energy that we are here to thrive, we are here to succeed, and we have all the support we need to make those things a reality. So, coming to that comfortable seated position, if you'd like to, you could take a prop, block is what I have here, and just place it right under the hips, giving you a little bit more lift and length through the crown of the head. And just take a moment here to begin to pay attention to the breath in and out of the nose. And if you're having a hard time doing that, you could start with coming up against the wall for support to get that nice flat back, because the flatter the spine is, the more alignment the spine is in, the more room that your lungs have to expand into. So it'll help you take those bigger, deeper breaths. Excuse me. My children brought home a cold the first week of school. Fantastic. Okay. The other option here is to place a hand on the belly and a hand on the heart and just feel the chest moving, helping you to connect to the breath a little bit more. So no prompts here, just being here in this moment, feeling where you're at, gauging where you're starting your practice from, beginning to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Deep breaths here, in and out. And each breath cycle, seeing if you can deepen that inhale and elongate the exhale a little bit more. And then as you're doing this, allowing the eyes to soften or close here. Breathing deep. Once you've connected to this breath and it feels more natural to you, more in alignment for you, begin to imagine in your mind's eye that you are standing in a circle with everyone that you love, who loves you, everyone that cares about you, everyone that's helped you on your journey, the people that want to see you succeed, your cheerleaders, your benefactors, your teachers, your guides, your counselors. This could be people that are here living with us on the planet now, and it could be those that have crossed over the realm into the dead. And then imagining a secondary circle surrounding this circle. And this secondary circle is any gods or goddesses, any angels, anything of a more spiritual essence, if you connect to any of that, giving you another layer here of support. And once you've added on everyone that you want to add, I encourage you to step into the middle of these circles to fully receive the benefit of all of these individuals' energy and attention and well wishes and support. All of it radiating towards you, filling your cup until it is overflowing, until you have cups on cups of cups. You have a surplus of love and support to draw on at any time you need it. knowing that ultimately in this life, we are here to support ourselves, and that there are times in our existence where we need the support of others because we are not able to meet our own needs. And that is okay. We are here to give and to receive in this life. Taking a few more breaths in through the nose here and out through the nose. Almost as if you are breathing in this love and support. You are letting it imbue you. Every fiber of your being is melded with, mixed with these well intentions, this positive energy. And then let there be this practice of giving, receiving. Imagine that you're breathing in all of this. And on the exhale, nice and slow, release it back out into the world, back out into your support networks. Finding that healthy balance of pouring in and pouring out. Knowing that you too have the power to support others, to love others, to be there for others. Taking 3 more big deep breaths here, giving this energy and receiving this energy. And when you're ready, allow the eyelids to flutter back open. You still have a hand on the belly and a hand on the heart. You can bring those to the tops of the thighs. And from your inhale, let the chin come to the chest. And exhale, roll the ear towards the shoulder. Lots of space in between, not touching, just towards. Inhale, chin to chest. Exhale, coming on over to the other side here. Now continuing these movements with your own breath, your own divine timing, following and linking up to your inhale and exhale. And really luxuriating here. Using the totality of that inhale to come to the side. And all of that nice slow exhale to come back to center, really paying attention as you move to each individual muscle group. If you're finding an area that's speaking to you more, knowing that you have the option to roll back and forth in that area, give it a little extra love. Give it your tender support, your awareness. One more time on each side here. Evening out. And then inhale to bring the crown of the head right back up. And inhale, bring your shoulders up towards your ears. And we're going to exhale, donkey lips out the mouth and soften the shoulders. So big breath in. 2 more of those. Inhale. Last one. Beautiful. Bring the hands up to the shoulders here, and then begin to just make circles. Oh, big, big, beautiful circles to start here. Oh, and then reverse, going in the opposite direction. Keeping that lift and lengthen through the crown of the head, even with these movements. Keeping the spine nice and open. Oh, this time, take your fingers, take your peace fingers out wide, hands out side to side, connecting to the earth on either side of you. And breathing deep here. Imagine you're pulling up some grounding energy from the earth beneath you. More of that good stuff, this idea of receiving what you need. The support is always there. This energy from beneath is always available to you. I'm still working with that imagery of inhaling to receive all that support and exhaling to give it back out to the world. Beautiful. One palm comes all the way to the earth. Inhale, really lift up to begin, like you're trying to touch the ceiling, and then out and over to the side. Pausing here, making sure that both thighs firmly active and engaged to the earth. And as long as they are, seeing how far out and over you can go. Make sure you keep that top shoulder pulled back so you're not rounding the shoulders forward. Keeping that heart space nice and open to both receive and radiate out into the world. Inhale brings you all the way back through to center. And exhale first to lift up, 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 and then out and over. Same tenets and foundations here. Back shoulder rolled back, thighs engaged. And from there, then playing with how far over can you go? Do you want to come onto the forearm? I find that much easier if I'm not sitting on a block personally. And then breathing, keeping that connection to your breath is your grounding rod, your guidepost here. All right, inhale brings you all the way back through to center. Then if you're sitting on any prop, you can move that out of the way. Bring the soles of your feet flat on the earth in front of you. Hands on either side of you, and still keeping that same lift tall through the crown of the head, tucking in the abdomen here to keep you nice and strong and tall through the spine. Taking a big deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, reach the arm out in front of you, over to the side, knees follow to come to the side, and reaching out back behind you. Inhale to come back through to center. Exhale to come back to the other side. So keeping that same pattern that we used with the neck rolls before of inhale to center. Exhale to the side. Breathing deep here. Taking your time, once again, using the totality of each breath cycle with your movements. And finding that pause in between both the inhale, exhale, and the exhale and the inhale to keep you where you're at. So that before that next inhale, there's that pause as you reach over the shoulder, back and behind. And before that next exhale, there's that pause as you come back to center. So always finding the pause in your breath, always finding those pauses in your life that help create balance. There's no rush. We got all the time we need. All right, one more time on each side here. Evening out. And then returning back to center. This time rolling forward, hands and knees. Positioning yourself in tabletop. So you have two options here for your hands. You can either have them outspread nice and big like a starfish, pressing into this circle of the palm and the fingertips. Or you can make fists under the shoulders with the hands if you experience sensitivity in the wrists, such as from carpal tunnel. Knees under hips, tuck that belly button up and in here. And then imagining you're extending out through the crown of the head to create a nice flat back from the tip of the tailbone all the way out through the crown of the head. Belly button tucked up and in. Everything active and engaged here. This is not a passive posture. This is still active. This ain't no Shavasana. All right. Inhale, drop the belly, let the shoulders slide closer together, lift the gaze. Exhale around the spine, shoulders slide apart, crown of the head drops towards the earth. Inhale, open up that heart space, drop the belly, look above. Exhale, round that spine, tuck the belly button up, and then looking back behind you. Once again, linking breath and movement here, breathing in all of that love and support and well wishes. And exhale to give it back out into the world, into the universe, letting it radiate out towards everyone that you wish to love and support. A few more times here. Moving with your own divine timing, your own divine breath cycle. And then inhale to come to that nice flat back into that tabletop pose. Curl the back toes under, extend the back leg back, and then rock back and forth. Working the muscles of the legs, stretching out here. Bringing those shoulders back over the hands, and then inhale, we're gonna lift that foot up. Now you could bring it just a few inches up off the ground, or you could bring it to be parallel with the earth. Yogi's choice. Whatever you do, make sure you're keeping that balance and harmony in the rest of your posture. We're not compromising the pose by lifting higher. The priority always being to stay in alignment, not going to the left or the right, staying on course, so to speak, and acknowledging that to receive support takes a certain amount of strength. It takes a strength to say, yes, I need help, or could you please help me, or I need you now. One more big breath in, and exhale, lower that leg down. Coming to the other side, inhale, tuck those toes under, stretch that leg out behind you, and rock back and forth. All right, inhale to come back over center. Once again, choosing how far you're going to lift that leg. Breathing deep. Keeping those strong breaths into the nose and out through the nose. Abdomen active and engaged. Connecting to your source of power and strength here in the abdomen. One more big breath in. Exhale, lower that knee down. Curl the toes under, knees together, feet together, sitting back on the toes, making sure they're all tucked under. Knowing if at any point this is not comfortable for you, right? Because we don't want you to be in pain. It's fine to experience sensation, but not pain. So if this is uncomfortable, you can always come forward onto the hands and flip to the tops of the feet, okay? But however you're choosing here, making sure you have that same lift and length to the crown of the head, abdomen engaged and active. Inhale, the arms open up wide, side to side. Exhale, the arms wrap around each other. Big hug here. Walk those fingers closer together on the spine and feel that love for yourself. And exploring this journey of support. How can you love yourself? How can you support yourself here? One more big deep breath here. And exhale it all out. Open up those arms side to side. Opposite arm on top this time. Nice big squeeze, like really squeeze yourself here. Like, I'm just the greatest. You can say that to yourself too. Keeping that connection to the breath, abdomen active and engaged. And then inhale, come forward onto the palms, and then tap out the tops of the feet here. Tap, 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 tap. All right, knees together, feet together, or bring the knees to be the width edge of the mat. Sink the hips back and down, arms straight out in front of you, extended forward, forehead to the earth, or to a block. I'm feeling a block today. I don't know if you notice I'm a little under the weather, so I'm going to just make it easier where I can. Some of that self-love, self-love there. Oh, and if it's helpful for you, that imagery of being in the circles, receiving that support, return to that image now, return to those people, return to that love for 4 breath cycles. Inhale to activate the abdomen. Bring your awareness back to the space and hinging up from the hips, keeping that nice flat back here. So moving intentionally, sliding the hands back. You can move the block out of the way, any prop if you did use it. And we're going to come back to the hands and knees once again. Can the hips side to side here. Going over the shoulders as you go side to side. Getting some more side stretches in here. And then inhale to come back to center. This time, walk the palms towards the front edge of your mat. And then exhale, mount the forehead towards the earth. Again, this can be a lovely place to have a to have a block. Exhaling into the support of the earth beneath you, or the block connected to the earth, arms straight out. Pausing here once again for 4 breaths. Remember, there's no rush here. Luxuriate in this support. Know that all of your needs will be met in right timing. It's about choosing to receive the support so that all of your wishes can manifest into reality. That's the goal. That's it. Just a small thing today. Just manifesting our goals into realities. Receiving love and support. Standard stuff. One more breath cycle here. And then inhale to slowly rise back up to that tabletop position. You can move that block out of the way if you did use it. Keeping it handy dandy just in case. Inhale to lift the left hand up towards the sky. Exhale. Bring that hand under the other arm, reaching it out to the side, and then inhale to come back up to the sky. Exhale to twist and turn, reaching out to that opposite side. Again, big breath in. Exhale to squeeze every last drop of that breath back out into the world. And then inhale one more time, reaching up to the sky. Exhale, thread the needle fully. Bring that shoulder down to the earth. Hips straight up above the knees. Hand can stay where it is, or you can walk it straight up towards the front edge of the mat. If you want to build a little bit more heat in your practice, that hand can come up towards the sky. Yogi's choice here. Soften and close the eyes. Receiving the support of the earth beneath you. Allowing gravity to do its thing here. Inhale, bringing your awareness back to the space. Exhale to bring that hand back under the shoulder. And then inhale once again to press back up into that tabletop posture. All right, friends, same thing, other side. Inhale, lift that hand up towards the sky. Exhale, bring that hand out and over, twisting to reach towards the other side. Inhale to come back up. Exhale to twist and turn the torso. Inhaling in big, deep breaths here. Exhale to twist. And then one more time. Inhale, biggest breath yet today. Exhale, twist and turn. Thread the needle fully. Bring that shoulder down to the earth. And then choose what you'd like to do with that left hand, either keeping it where it is and sending it straight out in front of you, or inhaling to lift it up to the sky. Hips up over the knees, side of the head resting on the earth here. And pausing. Big deep breath in through the nose, out through the nose. One more breath cycle here. And then inhale, that left hand comes under the shoulder and pressing back up to that tabletop position. Beautiful job. Inhale to sit all the way back on the feet, knees together, toes together. Sitting up nice and tall here. Abdomen active and engaged. Imagining vertebrae stacked on top of vertebrae through the spine, and using an inhale to lift even taller through the crown of the head, and an exhale to soften the shoulders down the back body. Inhale to bring the arms straight in front of you, palms facing each other. Exhale, rotate those hands out, float the hands back and behind, interlace the fingers and pull the hands back and down. Raising the eyes, lifting the gaze. This is also a fantastic place to be using a strap. And if you don't have a yoga strap, you could even just use a hand towel here, something that you can hold on to, bringing the hands as close together as they want to come today. So however you're doing it with your hands behind your back, pulling back and down and lifting the gaze. Breathing deep here. Taking a big deep breath in through the nose and then exhale. Begin to hinge forward from the hips, bringing the torso over the thighs. Again, this can be another great place to have a block in front of you to have the forehead to connect to. And begin to lift the arms up as you bring the forehead down. Seeing how far you can get the arms up. However far they want to go today is the right distance. Remembering that you're finding the edge, that spot where you can feel the posture everywhere in the body, but nowhere specifically. So if anything hurts, if you find yourself that you're not breathing, then lower those arms a little bit. If you happen to be claustrophobic, this pose is probably not going to be your favorite. And you could try the same thing while standing. That often alleviates that sense of being confined. Pausing here for another breath cycle in through the nose, nice, big, and deep. And exhale to release it back out through the nose. Inhale to fire up the muscles of the belly. Use the core to lift you back up, keeping that nice flat back. And then once you are all the way upright, releasing the clasped hands, bringing them back to the thighs, and pausing here for a breath cycle in through the nose, back out through the nose. Beautiful. If you did use that book, once again, you can scooch it out of the way, come over to the sides of the hips, and pivot the feet in front of you. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet to touch here. And we're going to begin just by massaging the feet. Just a little bit of that self-love, that self-support, acknowledging the places in your life where you are able to meet your needs, right? It's important to receive. It's also important to know that healthy line, like finding the edge of your support. Ooh, I love that. I'm going to use that again, right? So where is it that you can feel that support, receive that support, but you're not going so far into the realm that you're not able to support yourself when you need to, okay? So this little act of self-love, of self-kindness, self-awareness is just our way of saying, I love you to you. And if you find any spots that are extra tender, give them your love. Give it a little bit more of your awareness. Spend some time on that spot. And you can even work with the imagery of bringing the breath to that spot in the body on the inhale and using the exhale to soften this intention. Maintaining that nice flat back by lifting through the crown as you do this. Working your way back towards the heels. Breathing deep here. Massaging the tops of the feet as well. And then once it all feels good and gravy, you can either interlace the fingers and wrap them around the toes, or bring the hands to the shins. Take a big deep breath in through the head, in through the nose. And exhale, forward fold, hinging from the hips. Elbows go out side to side, keeping that nice flat back to start. Right? So once those shoulders start to round, then come up a little bit. You've just gone farther than you're able to in this moment. And that is okay. It's a journey. Like this is as far, like 15 years of regular yoga practice. This is as far as I can get with a nice flat. Whereas I know many amazing yogis that can get all the way down, like nose to the earth, right? It's all a journey and worth celebrating and appreciating where you're at. Take one more big breath in through the nose. And exhale this time, allow the shoulders to round forward, hands coming right out in front of you. Breathing deep here. Oh, yeah. Let yourself luxuriate in this moment. No rush, nowhere else to be. Keeping those big deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose, both receiving that support and giving it freely back out to the universe and those you love. Inhale to slowly roll back up to that seated position. And we're going to work with rocking the baby. So you may have tried this before, and if not, let me give you a quick tutorial. So the goal, and I say the goal because remember it's all a journey. So pick up one of your feet and you're going to take your foot and bring it towards the crook of the arm. Okay. And then you're going to wrap the other arm. So in the crook of the opposite elbow is the knee. And the hands can come and clasp together or just rest on the arm. And then you're gently rocking side to side. Also go front and back a little bit. Stretching out those muscles. Ooh, I just found a spot. Now, your baby might just come to here today, right? Your baby maybe don't want to cuddle today. That's cool. It's about getting it as far as you can into this position. Oh, and then exploring with it, letting there be that mode of inquiry, playfulness, and rocking side to side. Oh yeah, that's the steps. I'm digging it today. Beautiful. Coming back to center here and gently releasing that leg back to the earth and coming to the other side. Acknowledging that each side's going to be a little bit different. Take the time to play, to acknowledge you might make it further into this pose. You might not make it as far on this side. You might feel totally different. Like I'm way more tender on this side. Like really feeling it should like start in like the root of the tush. Getting those hard to reach muscles in the body that so desperately need our love and attention, so desperately need our support. Side to side, front and back, whatever feels good to you, whatever is going to honor you in this moment. Gently releasing this foot, bringing it back to the earth, turning to make sure you're facing the short end of the mat here, extending the legs straight out in front of you, and then keeping the feet nice and active as though they're like pressed against a wall right now. And inhale to lift and lengthen through the crown of the head, much like when we were in our seated positions before when we started our practice. And this can be made easier by having a folded blanket or a cushion just to sit on the very edge here, because it tips the pelvis forward slightly and makes it easier to maintain this posture. Like this is quite difficult for me given how short my hamstrings are. But keep those shoulders softened down the back body, nice flat back, tall as you possibly can be through the spine, activating the muscles of the abdomen to support you with that. Inhale to bring the hands to heart center. Exhale, twist and turn, looking out past your shoulder. Inhale to center. Exhale to twist. So, nice little flow here, using your breath, no rush, following your own divine timing. Feeling that stretch in the body. Inhale to come up to center. This time, lift the hands up overhead, and then exhale, begin to hinge forward from the hips, going as far as you can while maintaining a flat back. Now look at me, I'm starting here, and I'm making it here with a nice flat back. And that's cool. The point of this posture right now is just to keep the flat back. It's not a race, it's not a journey. Pausing here for a few breath cycles. And then exhale, let it all round forward, coming closer towards the toes. Hands could be on the shins. Hands might come all the way to the feet. If you want to make it to the feet, guess what? You can just bend the knees. Oh, whatever's going to feel good to you. You can even wiggle side to side. Remembering that this is your practice. You get to do it however you want. I shouldn't want to say however you want, right? We want to maintain our integrity so that we're not hurting the body. And then inhale to come all the way back up. If you're not in the middle of the mat, then scooch to the middle of the mat now. And then gently make your way all the way down to the earth. Oh, yeah, this is the good stuff, my friend. Oh. Yeah, so let's take a moment to just stretch it any way that feels good and natural here. Oh, yeah. Walk your feet over towards the bottom right corner of the mat. And then the right hand is going to grab the left wrist and gently tug the upper torso towards the top right corner of the mat. You can allow the eyes to soften or close here and pausing for a few breath cycles in this deep side stretch. Mm. Inhale to come back to center here. And then this time, walk the feet towards the bottom left-hand corner of the mat. Left hand grabs the right wrist and gently tugs you towards the top left corner of the mat. Once again, eyes can soften or close. Breathing into that open space that's created in the side body. Breathing in that love and support. Filling those spaces in the body wherever possible with those well intentions. One more breath cycle here, in through the nose and out through the nose. Coming back to center, hands coming to either side of the body. And then bend the right knee, hug it up and in towards the chest. Left foot is extended and keeping that foot nice and active. Hugging the knee in towards the chest, gently rocking side to side to start. And then bring that right foot to the earth, press into the sole of that foot and bring the hips a few inches to the right. And then bring that knee all the way over to the other side of the body, making sure that the shoulders stay firmly rooted here. You can open up the arms at shoulder height, nice and straight, or bend at the elbows, and then turn the head to look in the opposite direction of that knee. Pausing here to allow the eyes to soften and close. And using this time to actively remove any obstacles that are stopping you from receiving. Oftentimes those obstacles are fears, our own narrative that tells us that things won't happen, can't happen, have to happen now. All that's just malarkey. It's just the stuff we tell ourselves that isn't true. We all do it every day. It's okay. Breathing deep. Inhale to bring the head to center, the knee to center. Press into that foot, realigning the hips, and then extend the right leg straight out, keeping that foot nice and active. Hug that left knee in towards the chest. Allowing yourself to just be here in the center for a moment, then opening it up to rock side to side if that feels good to you. And then coming to the sole of that foot, pressing into it to bring the hips a few inches to the side. And then exhale out and over. Arms open up, head turns, and once again, removing the blocks that are keeping you from receiving. Breathing deep here. Deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Making sure those shoulders stay firmly rooted. Then inhale to return back to center, pressing into that foot to realign the hips, and then press. Bend both knees, bringing the soles of the feet flat to the earth, making sure you can just reach those heels. And then inhale, press into the feet, into the shoulders, lift the hips and pause, finding something that you can sustain for 4 breaths, like acknowledging that this is a bridge, and pausing, remembering that this is gentle yoga. So do something that feels gentle and nourishing and nurturing to you in this moment. No need to try to push into anything beyond what feels right for you now. 2 more breath cycles here. And then exhale to soften the hips down towards the earth. Ah, nice and gentle and slow. Walking the feet to be the width edge of the mat, and then windshield wipering those legs side to side. Ooh. Beautiful. Hug those knees in towards the chest. Once again, rocking gently side to side. Getting that little massage, a little bit of self-care, self-love, just like taking the time to do this video. Proud of you. You did the thing. Go you. All right. Extend the legs straight out. Hands on either side of the body, palms up. Taking any time you need to make this ultra cozy. Blanket underneath you, blanket on top of you, pillows under the knee. You can even do a pillow under the knee and a pillow under the ankles. Like really luxury in this Shavasana, acknowledging that the softer you melt into this pose, the more you will receive from your practice. Returning one last time to that imagery of being in that circle of support and actively choosing to receive that support. And then melting and drifting off into your Shavasana. Taking a big deep breath into the nose and out through the nose. Wiggling the fingers and toes. Taking any final stretches that you need. Oh, that's the stuff. Rolling onto the side and then gently and lovingly making your way up towards a comfortable seated position. Bringing the hands up to heart center and taking one final deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. My wish for you on this day and every day that follows: peace of body, peace of heart, and peace of mind. Namaste. See you next time. Bye.